Hey y'all, welcome back. It is time for my update for January on my low consumption challenge. It was a little easier this month because I was sick for 15 days. I'm still getting over it. So I didn't go anywhere, I didn't buy anything, I didn't do anything. So I pretty much just died in bed for 15 days. And so that's half of the month. So my last grocery challenge or grocery haul update, I was at the beginning of my sickness. I just filmed my next grocery haul, which will come out after this video, and I am on the tail end of my sickness. So that tells you how long I was sick. I go every 2 weeks shopping. So, yeah. So that was my biggest update for January. Was I spent almost the entire month being ill. But on to the meat of the video that you really want to hear about, and that is how much did I spend on groceries in Hi Sirius. Sirius is right there and Remus is over here. I love Harry Potter. Anyways, how much did I spend on groceries? Here's the thing. I want to talk about the USDA's thrift plan because I kept thinking like I was around $1,000, which I am for the USDA thrift plan. I did more research into it while I was sick. And so my family is a family of 4, but it's an abnormal family of 4 because I had my oldest when I was very young, and then I waited 10 years to have my next child. And so my oldest is 18. So technically we have 3 adults in the house, 2 35-year-olds and 1 18-year-old, and then we have a 7-year-old. So I did the math of because it has a specific math for figuring out your thrift plan. And the math for my family for the thrift plan is $1,019 and some change, which is about what I was spending, $800 to $1,000 on groceries last year. This does not include household goods. It does not include toilet paper. It does not include shampoo and conditioner. It does not include your clothing. It does not include a toy you bought for your kid. It does not include that. And so that's $1,000 on food goods only. And yeah, so I feel really good about my number because it includes household goods. It actually includes a toy for my daughter. It includes a new sweater for me. It includes all of my groceries for the month. It includes toilet paper, dog food, cat food, everything that my household needs to get from the grocery store, it includes. So what did I spend on all of my household goods and groceries and everything? $627. That's it. That's on food, meat, everything. Granted, there are 3 things that I did not count that I will talk about that are not in this number because they were kind of like separate purchases, and I just yeah. Anyways, I didn't count them in this number, but $627 for everything my family of 4 needed to survive. Granted, my 18-year-old does buy most of her stuff because she doesn't want to use the stuff I buy. So I'm like, well, if you're not going to use what I pay for, you can pay for it yourself. So she does opt to do that because she has a job, and so she opts to pay for certain things herself. And so for the most part though, if I had 2 small children, they would not be going, I want to buy this soap instead of this soap. They would just be accepting the soap I gave them, right? Because my 7-year-old doesn't care what soap I buy her. She uses the soap I buy her, right? So my 18-year-old is a little bit different, but I do pay for all the groceries in the house. She does not pay for groceries. And so she does eat what I make her, or she eats leftovers. So earlier this week we had chickpea salad and she doesn't like just plain beans, so she had leftovers. No big deal. Yeah, so $627 on everything. That I'm feeling really good about that number, especially after finding out that the thrift plan does not include household goods. Like, this includes a lot of stuff that is not included in the government's idea of low spending of a thrifty household. And so I would be curious. I'm not going to do it because I just don't feel that great still. But I'd be curious to add up all of the grocery items and see how that compares to the USDA thrift plan. Because I'm at like $400 lower, but it like includes like so much extras like for my dogs and my cats and everyone. So I don't know. Yeah. So I'm feeling really good about that. And I was struggling in December to make videos because like I felt like I just like needed to be in this niche of like I put myself in of budget friendly and like being under consumption channel. And I really did. I kept not making videos, and then there was a week where I just didn't have anything to post because I hadn't made any videos, and it was thankfully Christmas, so it was like, oh, good excuse. But like I haven't done anything, and like I like to listen to my body and listen to myself, and clearly I did not want to make budget friendly videos because I wasn't doing it. I wasn't motivated, so clearly I didn't want to do it, right? So I stopped putting myself in that box and I started making some hiking videos, and I made a video about my wander year, and I've been really enjoying it. Mostly I've been kind of like vlogging my experience in a way. Not in the same way that like I see a lot of like other vloggers where they're like showing you a day in their life or whatever, but like some of the things that have just like felt right to vlog, I've just been vlogging them. Yeah, so I have decided to stop putting myself in the niche of underconsumption only, and I am going to make videos of things I love and enjoy, and I am not going to put myself in an underconsumption box, right? Okay, so that's just a little update. So if you are a subscriber and you're like, all I want from this girl is underconsumption, like I'm afraid that's just not going to happen because I wasn't doing it, right? So you get other things. You get a little bit of my life. You can ignore those videos, do with you what you want. I definitely will say my hiking videos always have some kind of nugget of wisdom. There's something about being out in the woods that just my perspective feels so fresh and real and raw. And yeah, there's always a lesson for me whenever I go out into the woods. And so I like to vlog those and get my lesson out, because I think other people could enjoy it too, and they have. Yeah. I do enjoy these updates, so I'm going to continue doing them. I really enjoy keeping a track of what I finished for the month, which is great. So I'm doing really good on that. And I enjoy the grocery hauls, so I'm going to keep doing that. So if you're like, I enjoy her grocery hauls and I enjoy these updates, stick around because I am going to keep doing those. I do enjoy those. There will be more hiking videos. I do some exercises. I'll bring some of that in. A little bit of food. I did mention in a video I struggled with some of the food videos. It brought back some of my disordered eating, and I also just like really just couldn't put myself to actually make the videos. So like not a lot of food videos are going to be coming from me, which is unfortunate because I am a fantastic cook. Toot my own horn here. It's not something that I'm like, oh, I'm the best cook on the planet. No, I will tell you first and foremost that if I were in one of those cooking shows where it's like they are training like home cooks or whatever, I would always be cut out in the section where your food has to be cut uniformly, because I cannot cut food uniformly. So I will never make it to the top of a competition because I will always be cut out there. But I do regularly get a lot of compliments on my cooking. And my teenager, when she was at one of her maddest moments at me, she actually had moved out of the house for a little bit, and that's how mad she was at me. She came to me and said, "I miss your cooking." So like, I'm gonna toot my own horn. I'm a good cook, and so it is unfortunate that I don't feel motivated or good about making these cooking videos, but maybe one day, we'll see. Yeah, so that's my main updates for January, but 2 other minor updates. We got Taco Bell one night. I went on a hike that day, and then I ended up like feeling very sick by the end of the day, and that was the start of my 15-day long illness. There's Remus. Oh, he's going over to Sirius. But yeah, so that like, so I was like really tired and really exhausted, and I couldn't figure out why, but I was like, I cannot make dinner tonight, I'm so tired. And so we got Taco Bell. It wasn't the worst decision. We ate it. It was all good, you know, whatever. We don't get food out very often, but we got Taco Bell. And then the last time I went shopping, I was not feeling well still. It was the beginning of my sickness, and I didn't make it on. I normally go on Fridays without my family because I can keep it cheaper that way. When I take them, they always add stuff to the cart, and so I can make it cheaper if I go without them. So I tend to go on Fridays without them. And then that day though, that Friday I was really sick, and so I was feeling better on Saturday, and so my family came with me, and we got lunch out at Costco while we were there, because that's just something we like to do, and that's really cheap, usually under $10, so good one. And then something that happened this month that weirdly just like worked out, that like my phone bill was, I don't know, way lower for some reason this month, and so like it just kind of not paying for that part of the phone bill kind of paid for this. But our ceramic pans that we bought about 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, they started sticking like crazy. Every single one of them. I couldn't boil water or anything in the water without it sticking to the bottom. I couldn't cook anything. I was putting an insane amount of oil in these pans to try and get stuff to not stick. I mean, like coating the entire bottom in oil, and it's still sticking. And I'm like, well, I can't keep doing this, because I'm trying to get healthy, and eating this much oil is not healthy. And I also like would love to maybe lose a little bit of weight, and eating this much oil is not going to help me lose that. And so it was like our pans just like completely failed, and so I was like, it's time to get new pans. These are really not, like, literally I couldn't make anything without it sticking and burning to the bottom, which was never a problem for me before. I didn't change how I was cooking. I was cooking on a medium heat, like nothing crazy. So I think the ceramic coating failed, which happened to my Dutch oven as well. So it happens. And so yeah, so we had to get rid of those, and Costco had some really fantastic stainless steel pans on sale. Just like, it was literally perfect timing. Like, I don't know why our phone bill was so low, but it was like, oh, well, I mean, like, that's not even, we don't even have to pay extra for this at this point. Like, it feels like girl math here. Like, it's just my phone bill is paying for it, right? But then Costco had that fantastic deal, and it was like a really great pan set, like triple walled stainless steel or something like that. And they have the draining lids on them, so you don't even have to have like to strain things. Yeah, so my husband was really excited about that part. But then, so the stock pot in it was 7.5 quarts, which was bigger than my normal stock pot. And so I have like a soup pot, and we ended up being able to sell that soup pot because the stock pot replaced it. And I've cooked with them so many times now, and I absolutely love them. They are really fantastic, and I'm using a heck of a lot less oil. and nothing's sticking to them. I've really enjoyed them, and I love the size of my stock pot. It's like the perfect size. Nothing boils over on it because it's so big, but it's not so big that it can't fit in the cupboard. And yeah, I'm really happy with these pans. So that was not included in that $627 because it wasn't like it's not something I normally would purchase. I wasn't even planning to purchase new pans this year. It just happened that my pans were failing and I needed new pans. Okay, so on to the things I finished out of my house this month. I actually didn't keep track of literally everything because there's things that I just regularly finish, and then I don't feel like I need to add them to this list. But there is quite a few things that I also like finished and I was like really excited about because it was something that just was sitting in my house or whatever. So the first off was a tiramisu coffee syrup. It tasted like chocolate. I was already putting chocolate protein in my coffee, so it felt redundant. And then I stopped buying syrups from the store and started making my own again because it's like $7 at one of our bulk food stores here, and for a big one, and I can make it for like less than $1 for the same amount. So I decided to stop buying that. So I will not be buying a replacement of that, and that is now gone and decluttered from my house. I did finish a scalp oil, which I did buy a replacement in the beginning of January. I don't love the replacement, and I think I'm going to go back to this original scalp oil. It was like the Micelle Rosemary one. I loved that. I also lost a lot of hair last year because for a while I wasn't eating very well. My disordered eating came back, and I was basically starving myself, and my hair was falling out. And so I am in a better place, and I've been eating a lot more, and my hair is no longer falling out, and that scalp oil really did wonders with growing it back too. So I finished a laundry refresher, which we bought the Lysol version to try this time, and I'm really enjoying the Lysol version. It's a bigger jug, and so it's lasting longer, and it smells pretty good still. Excuse me. In my December update video, I mentioned a soap that was starting to smell off and that I was trying to use it up and I was going to use it in the shower and everything. Well, I started breaking out really badly on my chin, and so I tried using it just as a body wash, and I got a horrible rash under my arms, just really bad from it, like the day after I used it. And so I just tossed that, which was unfortunate. My daughter uses the same stuff, and I'm just keeping an eye on hers. Hers doesn't smell off, and she's not getting any rashes from it. So I'm just gonna keep an eye on that. And then I happened to buy my husband the bar version of that soap for Christmas, so now I'm using that on my face. I finished a half pint of honey. I still have I have a quart and a Costco size clover, white clover cream honey left. I overconsumed honey at one point, just went a little crazy. I talked about it in my December update, but yeah, I still have some honey to get through. I finished up a razor blade for my safety razor. In 2020, I went, you can see on my history on my channel, I used to do zero waste videos because I got really into zero waste. And yeah, so in 2020, I bought a safety razor, and I still use it. I do need to clean it and oil it because it is starting to rust a little bit, but I can clean that up. But I only go through like one razor every month or two because I just don't shave that often. But yeah, those things I bought a 1-year supply in 2020, and I got plenty left. I'm pretty sure I bought a lifetime supply in 2020 because I am still working through many of those. I threw away 2 dried puffy paints. I'm not going to buy a replacement. I don't need a replacement. I used up a bag of dirt. We will not be buying a replacement yet. But my husband got some free wood this last fall, and it's enough to make raised beds in our garden. And so this year we're gonna make raised beds, and we will have to buy dirt. So we do also have a ton of compost because we compost, but we will also need dirt. And I also plan to put like sticks and stuff in it, but we will need dirt. I threw away my pre-workout. I don't use a stimulant. I use a no stim pre-workout. And it was just something that I tried last year that I got really into working out last year, and my husband was so excited. He was like, I'm gonna buy you all this stuff, and I like ended up barely ever using pre-workout because I work out first thing in the morning, and the first thing I drink in the morning is a protein coffee, and so the pre-workout was like never getting used, and so I went to like use it, and it was like a hard chunk. So we threw it away, and I do not plan to buy more. In fact, I have learned a lesson. I do not use pre-workout. No pre-workout for me, so no more. My husband can buy pre-workout, and I will stick to my coffee. I used up a pack of Post-it notes, and I'm not going to buy a replacement because I have a lot more. I have been a student for 4 years, from 2021 to 2025, and so I used a lot of Post-it notes, and I bought a lot of Post-it notes, and I still have a lot of Post-it notes. Yeah, I still have more. Ooh, I made a book weight, so I used up scraps of fabric, which was really cool. My daughter has used that book weight more than I have, but whatever, she's, it's getting used, and it'll be used in the future. But I have more fabric left, so I don't need to buy more. And then if you've never tried the Kenko smoothies, Kenko, maybe CKO, they have them at Walmart and I think Target, but you can also get them on a subscription-based plan from their website, which is really cool because then you also get a registered dietitian with that for free. And I've used both of those services, which is really cool. They were really helpful. They also have like classes you can take, so I've taken nutrition classes from them as well. But they're freeze-dried smoothies that if you put in like icy cold water, they're really good. But I go through phases of using them and not using them, and so I wasn't using them, and I used up one of the last packs of the sweet ones. I got 2 spicy tomatoes from like sample packs. I think what I'm gonna do with them is mix them into my spaghetti. I think that's the best course of action here. Because maybe a Bloody Mary, but I don't drink that often, so we'll see. I do have them in the freezer though to keep them even longer, but yeah, we'll see. I used up I'm gonna butcher this name, Naturium Glycolic Body Wash. I bought it after I watched some videos about strawberry skin, or KP. It's something I have, my husband has, and my youngest has, and so I bought it thinking I would like it, and to be honest, I did not. I would stand there for like my husband thinks this is a really funny form of timekeeping, but I would stand there for at least 2 songs in the shower, which is 6 to 7 minutes. And yeah, it did nothing for my skin. In fact, what has helped the most is exercise. And when I am regularly exercising, my KP is at its minimum, and I have gone through spurts of using this and not using this, both with the exercise, without the exercise, and in between. Yeah, so I've this has basically been an experiment for me, and yeah, it does nothing for my body. My my own lactic acid from the inside is what seems to help. I finished up a bag of peanut butter chips. I'm not going to rebuy these. We don't really use peanut butter chips very often, and I used them up because I didn't have any chocolate chips left, and my daughter didn't like them as much as the chocolate chips, so I'm just gonna not buy those. A while back, I was influenced to mix my Listerine with hydrogen peroxide. And yeah, I recently threw that away because it freaked me out after sitting there for a long time with chemical reactions and all that shit. I was just not willing to put that in my mouth, so I threw it away. I finished 2 random packs of overnight oats. They were just like given to my husband. They were out of like a Costco box of overnight oats that you mix with milk, and then yeah. I make my own overnight oats, and I make a lot of different varieties of them, so I don't need to buy overnight oats. And my overnight oats have more protein in them than those overnight oats and more fiber. So I'm going to make my own and continue to do that. And in fact, there's some in the fridge right now that's coconut, and then I put mango on it. Very good. I finished an African sunset tea. First off, I made it and then I tossed it because it smelled so much like menthol. I was like, I am not going to drink that. That smells like Vicks fake boat rub. And so, not only would I not rebuy it because it was disgusting, but I have a lot of teas to use up, so I'm not going to buy any more tea. If you've watched my update videos in the past, lotion has been on my list of need to use up because I have like 6 bottles of them. In fact, in my last month's update, I was like, ha, I found more lotion. Oh my gosh. So I finally used up a bottle of lotion, and I am literally so close to finishing another one because my daughter had her own lotion that she was using for a while. We no longer need to do that. But I have been using her lotion to help her finish it up as well. But I finished mine, and now we're on hers. And so in February, there will be one finished at the very least. And yeah, I still have, I don't know, like 3 more bottles of lotion and like a bar of lotion. So yeah, more lotion for me. I literally probably won't have to buy lotion until at least November. We were all sick, so we threw away 3 expired meds while we were going through the med box, and then we used up a box of cold meds, and we used up some cough drops as well. We have more, so we don't need a replacement, and generally we just buy them again when we're sick and not just like keep them on hand, because a lot of times they get expired otherwise. And while we were sick, so in part of my zero waste that I did keep around from 2020 was I loved cloth tissues. I have a lot of them. But when 4 people in your house are using cloth tissues because they all have colds, it does not last more than a couple of days. And I wasn't feeling well enough to like get them all cleaned and sorted again. So we do have in 2020 we bought some bamboo tissues from Who Gives a Crap, and I just have had 4 boxes of them sitting in the garage just waiting to be used. I think I bought 12, and so they've been on a backup, so pretty much every time we get a cold, we pretty much have to pull out a box. This time we used 2 boxes. We have a 3rd one out right now, and then there's 1 more left. It's all squished, so I might have to figure out what to do with that. But yeah, so we did use up quite a bit of those tissues as well. And unfortunately, I also had some crazy bloody nose with this illness. 3 of them, and 2 of them lasted over 20 minutes. So there was a lot of tissue being used. So that was like the things that I finished in my house. And then I mentioned in my December update that I was wrapping my physical TBR in brown paper, and then my daughter has been picking out books for me out of that, and I've been reading them and trying to get through my physical TBR. I got through 50 Shades of Grey 1 and 2. Like I said in that video also, I only wrapped the first of a series, so I could just continue that series. A, gets more off my physical TBR, but also B, then I don't have to wait around until I find that book again in all the brown paper. So I read 50 Shades of Grey 1 and 2, and I read halfway through 3 before I could not handle it anymore. I hate Anna. She is a selfish little brat, and how she talks about Christian is just, it's disgusting. She calls him broken and fucked up, and I'm just like, why would you think that about a man you love? Like, oh, I'm heated. I hate her. She's a spoiled little brat. Anyways, so I did not finish 3 because I couldn't stand her, and I kept wanting to throw my books every time she was childish. And just every time she spoke about him, it was just in this disgusting way of like, I don't think about my husband that way. I think he's a good man. Like, I don't think of him as broken. Like, holy crap. So, like, I couldn't finish it. It was just one of those books that irked me. I had a really hard time getting through the second book, and then by the third book, I was like, I cannot do this anymore. I'm not going to force myself to finish this when I just want to punch this book because of how this woman is treating her so-called loved one. Like, oh, I have nothing against that author, but those books were atrocious. I just don't think that's how we should be, showing how BDSM is in light. Like, that was just, like, she called him fucked up because he spanked her. Like, excuse me? Like, that's not how we want to, like, portray this lifestyle, you know? Like, that's not what we should be doing. But also, like, just the way she spoke about him as a broken man. And I'm just like, wow, you really have no respect for this man. So I just, yeah, hated that book. Sorry. I also, it was funny. So I finished that one, or I did not finish that one. And then the next one that got pulled out was Bared to You by Sylvia Day, which was described as like better than, 50 Shades of Grey. I read that one, and honestly, I hated that one too. Just, it was a weird ending. Like, it was almost unfinished. Like, they were just like, I'll be right back, and then doesn't even explain it, and then he comes back, and she's just like, cool, let's go. Like, great, we've had all these problems, and like, and as someone who's training to be a therapist, it was also, it was both good and bad to read because it was nice to see that they were trying to show someone who was trying to use therapy in their real life and also failing at it, because that's what happens, is you also fail at it. But also it was a little hard to take because some of those like therapy words were weaponized, and some of her behaviors were she wasn't I don't know how to put this. She wasn't really actually fully doing the therapy so much as like running away and then being confronted by someone else and then being like, oh, fine, I'll deal with it. So like it was hard because there was not a lot of personal responsibility to it, is what I should say, from the main character. And so yeah, I didn't really like that book either. Did finish it though. And then Dragonfall, I forgot to write who the author is, and I did not finish it. And I also have already decluttered this, so I've decluttered 50 Shades of Grey 1, 2, 3, and Bared to You, and this Dragonfall book, and I did not finish it. I like fantasy books, and it was a fantasy book, which is why I bought it. And the problem is they kept introducing fantasy terms without explaining it, and it was to the point that every single family member, like mother, father, grandfather, grandmother, had a different term for it than what would be in our society, right? But they weren't explaining what they were meaning. So I was like, by the time I'm getting through, I'm like, is that their mother or their grandfather? Is that their father or their mother? Like, who is that? And what are they talking about? So there was no description of the actual like fantasy land to our society, which is one of the problems I have with fantasy authors, is a lot of the times they'll just add something to the story and then they won't explain what it is. And you're like, what is that? Like, I don't know what that is. So this was just one that I could not finish because it got so confusing. And also, like, I'd like to give myself a little grace because I have had 2 concussions. So it might just be me that can't understand this, you know? So feel free to try it. It's just, it was very confusing to me, and I couldn't get into the story when it was so confusing. I'm like, who is that? And then they just kept introducing terms and things, and I was like, I can't keep track of all of this, and you're not explaining it to me when you're introducing it. So if I learn about it halfway through the books, then I'm only understanding half of the book, right? Like, so I was up. I didn't read that one either. And then Stalking Jack the Ripper by Carrie Maniscalco. This one I think people would like. I just, I have a really hard time with blood, guts, and gore. I cannot watch Game of Thrones. I tried watching House of Dragon. I did finish Game of Thrones, but I finished it like this. And then I tried watching House of Dragons, and then I started getting nightmares, so I had to stop watching that. I tried watching The Old Guard recently, and that just was too much for me. Like, I just like am at a point in my life where blood, guts, and gore is just not my thing. And this book was very gory. And so, I mean, within probably 4 chapters, I had to stop reading it because it was making me uncomfortable. And like, I couldn't sit through it anymore. It's just not my thing. So I did declutter all 6 of those. And here's the thing is I made a lot of purchases of like books that I didn't even know about. Like, I just bought them going, maybe I'll like this one. And that's not who I've been in the past. For the most part, I've only bought books if I've read them from the library, or I borrowed them from friends, or like I've gotten to read them for free in some manner. And then if I really love them, I go out and buy them. Well, I was influenced by Book Talk, and I bought a bunch of books that they suggested, and I have decluttered so many of them now. Like, Dragonfall and Stalking Jack the Ripper were both brand new books that I bought and was like, I think I'll like these, and then I hated them both. Like, okay, hate's a strong word. Hate will leave for 50 Shades of Grey. I did not like either one of them, but it's nice to know that I stopped making those unknown book purchases, and this recenters me in the value of like, I'm not going to continue to do that. I'm not going to make another unknown book purchase because look at how many books I've decluttered or did not finish because I just didn't like them. I'm just centered in that faith of like, and that belief of like, I'm not going to go forward making any more book purchases. This is the value that I feel in my life, and I'm going to continue with it. So no more unknown book purchases until I've read them and I've loved them. Those are the, like, I have to want to read a book again for me be able to buy it. And so another book I did end up reading was on the Libby app. So if you know the Libby app, sometimes you have to put a hold on a book, and sometimes that hold is a really long wait. I don't even remember how long my wait was, but I waited for Sunrise on the Reaping, the new Hunger Games book. It was hard to get through because, like I said, I'm struggling with the blood, guts, and gore. I love the Hunger Games books, though, so I was like, I'll get through it. There was also some like messages in there that really just felt good to me, And but there's some scenes that have kind of haunted my brain, and this is just a book that I read, you know? So well, I don't know if I'll read that one again, just because it was really kind of, there was some scenes in it that are just haunting my brain, and I only visualize them, you know? So I am really struggling with the idea of even watching the movie, because I am not sure I can handle that much gore that I know is coming. I am currently reading, though, Aragon, which is a very old book and movie. Books are better. And the books are better. Not always books are better, but the book is better. Yeah, it's an author who lives in the same state as I do. He taught at my school when I was a kid. It's books that I didn't actually ever read when I was a kid, but yeah, I'm really enjoying the first one right now. A lot of great lessons in it, a lot of cool story plot lines. Definitely one I would recommend, actually. Sunrise on the Reaping I would also recommend. It's just like only if you're really like into guts and gore and the Hunger Games, you know. And so we're gonna finish on what I wanted but didn't buy, and this is a incredibly short list. What's crazy is I spent, you know, half the month being sick, but like I did go to stores. The thing is, though, is I did buy a couple things this month. If you saw my grocery haul, I think at the beginning of the month, I bought myself a sweater. I bought myself my daughter a toy. In this next grocery haul coming out, you'll see I bought myself these base layers were on sale at Costco for $5. So I bought myself some shirt base layers. Like I have bought myself a few things, and that has all been included in, well, not this, because this is in next month's, but this will be included in next month's price. But all of like that sweater and everything have all been included in that $627. So what did I want that I didn't buy? Nothing. I have nothing on this list. I mean, I kept checking it. I kept looking, and I kept trying to think. I went through 3 stores, you know, and what did I see that I wanted that I didn't buy? And I kept coming up with nothing. Like there was nothing I wanted this month that I didn't buy, because I mean, I needed new pans. It was nice. It was cool. I didn't want new pans, but I needed new pans, so I bought new pans. But like I didn't see anything at the stores that I was like, "Ooh, I want this." So I am feeling it's interesting. I am feeling full. Not like I am feeling full of food, but like there's nothing outside of myself that I need. I have it all within myself, right? So like I just feel good about that. Like I got the things I really wanted for Christmas, like a couch cover to cover up my couch, and a couple other things. All I really want right now is to go hiking. And I could do that if I felt better. I have all the supplies and everything. I just currently don't feel well enough. But yeah, I'm feeling full on the inside instead of the void, I should say. There's nothing outside of myself that I feel like I truly, truly want right now. In fact, what I currently really want is just to feel better. And I have the power to do that by resting and taking care of myself and eating good food and drinking lots of water. So I'm going to do that. But yeah, so that is really my update for January. A while that we're literally stepping into February. And yeah, so what a cool month. More than I thought I would spend, but since like we ate a lot more fresh vegetables and fruits this month, I think it makes sense. But yeah, so I'm feeling good about what's going on. And I guess we'll see you in the next one. And remember to be kind to yourself.